Hi, it's Jan Johnson, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really glad that you did. And last week, I started a series that is a 10-part series on the 10 basic principles for telling the right story at the right time and telling it right. And this is based on a Forbes magazine article that I read that was actually referring to a book on storytelling that is written by Peter Guber. And so I've gone over 3 of the basic principles for telling the right story at the right time and telling it right last week. So as I keep saying, if you haven't seen those first 3, you want to go to my website at thejanjohnson.com on blog and click and go back and read the first of the three of the 10 principles. I want to start out today by talking about the fact, because all of this just ties so much into what I'm saying, and I love to give credibility, kind of a third-party verification for what I talk to you about continually, and that is the fact that storytelling is the way to make sales in your business. And so I've got here an editorial review of the book that I'm doing this 10-part series on. And the book, or the editorial, is by Tony Hsieh. And he is, by the way, the author of the New York Times bestseller Delivering Happiness, and he's the CEO of Zappos.com. If you haven't heard of Zappos.com, then maybe you've been living under a rock, and I don't mean to be insulting, but Zappos started out as shoes, and he has built it into this huge business. And so he's written his own book, and he has written a review about this book that I'm sharing with you. And I think you'll find this interesting, because keep in mind you're in business to make sales. And so I'm trying to help you learn from people that have been so successful in the marketing of their businesses. And so he says, or I'll just say here about Zappos first. In less than 10 years, Zappos has grown from no sales in 1999 to over $1 billion in gross merchandise sales annually. He says, the CEO, our philosophy is to take most of the money that we could otherwise have spent on paid advertising or paid marketing and instead invest it into customer service and the customer experience, and let our customers do the marketing for us through word of mouth. That's Zappos' philosophy, straight from the CEO's mouth. He says further, in other words, we're really just in the stories and memory business. How cool is that? From an early age, Peter Guber, this is the CEO of Zappos now talking about Peter Guber, the author of the book that I am giving you the principles from. From an early age, Peter Guber seems to have intuitively grasped what I slowly learned over my entrepreneurial adventures, which is that most profitable companies are those that form personal, emotional connections, which we internally refer to as PEC at Zappos, personal emotional connections. They refer to that so much that they have an acronym for it at Zappos, personal emotional connections with customers. In To Tell to Win, which is what Guber's book is, To Tell to Win, Guber shows how stories we tell about our companies, our products, and ourselves are what elicit people's emotional reactions and drive word of mouth. The book includes plenty of examples and guidance for breaking down how a story gets created and delivered. As I read through the book, I repeatedly had to put the book down to think for a while, because so many stories in the book spark new ideas on how to drive and improve our business as Zappos. And so I'm just hoping that all of this helps you create your never-ending story. And that as I go through these principles and you understand what I'm trying to teach through my blog on a day-to-day basis to help you in your online venture, in your network marketing venture, in your entrepreneurial venture, even if it's a storefront, as a small business person, getting to know yourself and getting in connection with your stories and those of the people that are around you is the way to make the sales in your business. And that's what I constantly focus on. So today is basic principle number 4. And that is, make sure your call to action resonates. Let me expand on what it says. Every story needs something that will move the audience emotionally to hear your call to action. This may mean finding a hero or a villain in the story, showing your real passion and emotion, or describing the excitement and fear of others. So you want to make sure it resonates. And so these are ways that you can get it to resonate. So I'm saying maybe if you have nutritional products, then maybe your call to action takes on the hero and the villain in the form that, you know, the hero is your company and what it's providing to customers from the standpoint of something that helps boost their immune system, or something that gives them energy, or something that helps them with weight loss. A lot of times in these cases, maybe the villain is Big Pharma. I'm just saying that you want to put it in a form that when you're telling the story about your product, think of it in the fashion of hero and villain kind of thing. This is the fourth principle in storytelling to make a sale. Or you might want to show your personal passion for the service that your company provides. Let's say your company provides gifts and cards and the emotional response that people get from both the sending and the receiving of those cards and gifts. That emotional response, rather than the technical ability of that service that's provided, is what people gravitate towards. And additionally, you might really just want to show that excitement that you've witnessed people feel, or the change they've had in their lives from the standpoint of them getting involved in your opportunity. And so therefore, you are relaying how good you feel for that person, how good they're feeling, how it's changed their lives. That emotion, that story, and your personal reaction to those, that's what gets the person, not just the details and the facts about this is what the product or this is what the service does. That isn't what makes the sale. That's the fourth basic principle, and we're going to cover the fifth tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this video helped you, please comment and share. And also you can find the originals at thejanjohnson.com and /blog. Thank you so much. Tune in tomorrow.